welcome to a Robocraft update video, where today, on the 30th of March 2016, we had a State of the Game update released by FreeJam. Now, I will leave links down below for you so you can have a look yourself. As always with my videos like this, there will be some gameplay in the background. Please enjoy it. If you don't want to listen to me waffle, then mute me off and enjoy the gameplay. If you are interested in what I've got to think about this, then let's get straight into it. So, State of the Game update. Hi, this is Mark Simmons, Game Director for Robocraft. I'd like to share some information on the current status of Robocraft and our plans for the near future. Hopefully I can clear up some confusion that's out there surrounding focus tests, megabots, flattening, Phase 2, Proto-Seeker tutorials and things like that. First, I would like to say a huge thank you to everyone who is playing Robocraft and is part of our amazing community. Your contributions both through playing and by giving your feedback on our various forums and social spaces are what makes being part of the Robocraft experience so much more than just a game. We will be holding a Reddit AMA to discuss the things in the post, more on that later, and I will be on hand to answer many of your follow-up questions in real time for several hours during that AMA. Phase 2. When Robocraft was first created, we had such a unique and crazy block building robot creation system that we wanted to keep the metagame simple, something that users were already familiar with, so that we could dev quickly and easily too. We liked World of Tanks at the time, so we decided to have 10 tiers and all that tech tree stuff. World of Tanks is a form of vertical progression, i.e. you start off weak and get more powerful by levelling up. Tier 1 players play other Tier 1 players and Tier 10 play other Tier 10 players. More modern progression systems, in my opinion, are more focused on horizontal progression, i.e. games like League of Legends, Hearthstone or Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, etc. focus on having a broad range of exciting content. LOL and HOTS have many champions. Hearthstone has many cards, and all of these collectible pieces of content are all equally powerful and exciting in their own right. You want to try them all, and they can all be combined in interesting ways, and it takes quite some time to acquire them all, which is often why you keep playing. We feel that a horizontal progression system is much better for Robocraft, as we see our robot parts as being equal to each other, each useful in their own right and combinable with others in different ways. We see it as exciting to try to collect them all, and have fun trying to combine them in crazy ways as you do so. Also, here is a list of other benefits that Robocraft becoming a horizontal progression game gives us. Players are not subdivided into 10 tiers, so we can matchmake by CPU only, have lower queue times, more game modes, geo-located servers, etc. Put simply, we have more players who can play together, and we can matchmake more by skill. Now guys, this has been on my mind for quite a while. I haven't mentioned it, but I always thought that 10 tiers was far too much. You're trying to chop everybody up into tiers and trying to matchmake 10 different tiers of robots. So you need to have 100 people playing, 10 people in each tier to have one team on each side. So you need 200 people to have, to be playing a separate tier each, or 2 people from each tier. It will never work. That's why the queue times will getting longer and longer, because the more people level up, obviously there's less players in the lower tiers, so well, it doesn't really make sense, does it? But anyway, we no longer need to make the 10 times content, i.e. one laser gun for each tier, so we can release new content to you more frequently, and it can be cooler and more meaningful. Well, that's good for them. It means there's less work. They don't, as they say, they don't have to make 10 of each thing. So like they were making 10 or 11 of each block, or 12 of each block actually, weren't they? I can't remember. But then they were making 10 of each gun, and different shield for each level and all that sort of stuff. But if they're going to release new content to us more frequently, so that it can be cooler and more meaningful, hopefully no more auto aim weapons, because they're not really meaningful. I actually don't use them. I have one on a flyer and it's a joke. I don't actually use it competitively. but then that's just me. So yeah, hopefully we get cooler and more meaningful parts. Since battles are not split by tier, all parts can exist together in the same battle, which means many more build types, more variety and a richer experience for new users, i.e. their first battle will be full of all robot types rather than just seeing lasers and plasmas. Well, I can understand why that's going to happen, but unless they have a starting CPU of like 500-600, they're not going to see all of the weapons, because flak cannon, Lommel, all of the big ones that have just come out, they're all 300 CPU. So unless people are going to be really stupid and building glass cannons, I don't think new players are going to be seeing it. Full Spectrum Combat was the first step in the game's transition from a vertical progression game to a horizontal progression game. We removed the coloured tiered cubes, add painting, another benefit of a horizontal progression game, and the delta between 10 and tier 1 became smaller, i.e. the game became flatter. I know some of you have seen the word flattening on the forums and Reddit etc, and although I don't like the word flattening as it sounds negative, it actually refers to a horizontal progression system which we believe will, when it's finished, deliver a much richer and more diverse game. Now, yes, I can understand where they're going with this, but as I say, new players are going to be seal clubbing, that's all I'm going to say. Don't get any ideas guys, but seal clubbing. Phase 2 is not yet complete. We still need to complete the full horizontal game transition. A summary of what this means is below. Removal of the tech tree and replacement with an all new exciting and engaging progression system. So I wonder what that's going to be. Is it going to be kind of like not experience points, but what's the one that World of Tanks uses? Research points. Are we going to have to start researching things? Are they actually going to go that line? I hope not. Please don't. Final reworking of the weapons so that Laser Wasp and Mega Laser can both be available in the same battle, with the Wasp versus the Mega Laser being akin to an Uzi versus a Bren gun. Both are good in their own situations. One has high DPS but low accuracy when used close and personal, and one is better for long range with more damage per bullet but slower fire rate and more accuracy. Now I'm thinking there guys, that might be one for the flyers. The Bren gun, that's going to be awesome because you got the flak copters. Well, what's to say you can't blink up next to him in a flyer with your Bren gun, and has which has high damage per second. Sorry, it has more damage, but it has a slower fire rate, which means, you know, it could be worth it. Removal of robot ranking and matchmaking by CPU and player skill. Now that's what I was referring to earlier guys. When this actually rolls out, they're going to be matching by CPU only and player skill. So is player skill going to be a multiplier? Is it going to be based on what level you are? Is it going to be based on how many hours you've logged in the game? I'd have no idea. It seems to be a little secret of theirs what their skill multiplier is, but that there matchmaking by CPU, as I was saying, if they're going to get 600 CPU in the level 1, and people are going to be absolute buggers and start taking missile bots and things like that down into the starting tiers, which isn't going to be very fun for the new guys, is it? But anyway, many of you have been confused as to why new users cannot use our new easy use weapon, the Proto Seeker, due to its high RR and RP cost, or why we do not produce lower tier versions of the new weapons we're releasing. The reason is that tiers will not exist soon and all weapons will be usable in all battle types. New users will be able to see blinks, aeroflags, etc. all in their first battle, and will have a chance to own them as well, due to the new progression system. More details on that in the future. Robots will be match made by CPU and not robot ranking. It's a bad idea, I think. A really bad idea. They're going to see those things and be like, what the hell just killed me? Since doing this right will take some time, we decided to try to ensure our dedicated audience gets cool stuff whilst we complete this transition in the form of more frequent content drops. So we released the Proto Seeker, Aeroflak Cannon, Lock-on Missile Launcher, etc. to our end game users first. thanks FreeJam, but I don't like them. You can take them back. I'll keep the aero flat cannon, but you can have the other two back. Long range game. It's true that the inclusion of the Lommel, Aeroflak and Proto-Seeker moved the game towards a more long-range game. We think it's exciting to see how the meta changes as we introduce new robot parts and witness the Robocrafters come up with new, awesome killer builds. We listen to the community too, and fully take on board the feedback we receive as well. We're working on releasing some new content in a few weeks' time, which will allow those that want close-range gameplay to make a comeback via a new weapon. This new addition will allow players to be able to counter the long-range Lommel and deliver an in-your-face response with some new high-skill components. Now guys, I'm going to do a little bit of conspiracing, if you like, because it was a thread on the forums. If I can find the link, I will drop it down below, but there was somebody data mining. Now you shouldn't really data mine. Well, to me, I personally wouldn't data mine into somebody else's game and try and figure out what's going on with it, but somebody has, and they have found something called a cloaking device. Yes, a cloaking device. So, this new addition will allow players to be able to counter the long-range Lommel and deliver an in-your-face response with some new high-skill component. They don't say weapon, they don't say module, they say component. So, if the data miners are correct and we are getting a cloaking device, oh my god, amazing. FreeJam, please. You probably don't watch my videos, but if you do, cool, thanks. But please, cloaking device, yes please. Moving on to the next section, it's about megabots. Now, I don't actually play megabots. I have had one or two, but I don't really enjoy the gameplay or this. There's a lot of pressure on you as the megabot to be really good. Well, there used to be before regen was a thing, and I just think they're just a bit follow the leader like. People just, if you've got a mega, oh, you have to go with the mega, you have to make sure he lives, blah blah blah. No, if a couple of you, if you're in a platoon and you go around and flank, that can work in your favour far better than having a megabot, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm not bothered at all whether megabots are in the game or not, so that's just my opinion. I know a lot of you do play megabots, and some of you, there's probably going to be some heated debates in the comment section, but yeah, fight it out amongst yourselves, guys. Anyway, many of you ask about megabots like it's something we've forgotten. The truth is that it's been a hot topic in FreeJam for some time and is actually far from being forgotten. Our feeling is that our experiments with megabots in various forms and in various game modes haven't worked out that well. The boss mode, megabots in tier 10 DDM, etc., whilst fun for a small amount of time, many felt it actually harmed TDM. Although a few really love megabots, many feel that it made TDM all about the megabot, which is great for the guy playing the megabot, but not so great for everyone else. We had a discussion internally and asked, what if we redirected all that server power, client processing power and dev time into something that would benefit all users, instead of just a few? In answering that question, we decided that we would remove megabots from the game in the next update, set to go live next week, so that we could successfully implement the following. An increase to the maximum CPU for all robots to 1,750, as opposed to 1,515. I can't say numbers, but that is brilliant. Wow, 235 CPU extra per robot is just amazing. There's been so many times I've been building and it's gone boink, no, run out of CPU, boink, no, and it's like, oh, I just want to put like 10 more cubes on, but then you give me an extra 235, so I'd make it bigger. Anyway, adding 50 new player levels to the game, with the maximum level becoming 150, which grants the 1750 pflop CPU limit. Groovy. Does that mean I've got to grind for 50 more levels? Or do I get my 1750 pflop straight away? Don't know. That's going to be an interesting one. We'll have to wait for the patch notes on that, guys. upgrading all users to the Mega Bay by default, so everyone gets a massive bay to build in, so that's cool. They're going to compensate all current Megabot owners and those with Megabots in the CRF. We will communicate the details of the compensation prior to the update. Changing the Mega module into a new Power module, allowing it to boost the power bar if equipped on your robots. Brilliant! Just what you need, a little extra burst, so my Alpha Strike from my bomber, if I can get a power module on it, is going to be even stronger. Oh, no minds. Rebalance and rebrand Mega parts, reducing their CPU cost and rebalancing their physics in the case of wheels and hoverblades, etc., so they are viable alternatives for normal robots and add more variety in all game modes. Yay! So the Mega stuff's going to become viable for smaller robots. Yeah, wow, that's amazing. I've made a couple of cool looking 4x4s actually with the Mega wheels, but they've always fallen over, so I'm going to have to make some more. Focus the dev team on bringing you more game modes and content without worrying about how the hell do we make this new game mode work with a Megabot. Well, that's good. It means they can get an idea, work on it straight away without really having to worry about a massive 4 times the size of every other robot getting involved. So, in summary, we feel that the Megabots concept was an early access experiment that didn't work out anywhere near as well as we had hoped. And by moving away from this concept, we feel we can deliver you more in content and cool game modes, more CPU and more robot components and weapons at a faster rate if we make these changes. In my summary, goodbye Megabots, it was fun to fight with you, it was fun to try and build you, hopefully you come back soon, but I totally understand why they're doing it to the game. It will free up server power, it will free up people's computers because they won't have to render as much. You know, there's more benefits than there are negatives. Yes, you're not going to be able to play your Megabots anymore. Yes, if you have spent hundreds of hours building them, it is going to be a loss, but I feel this is a change to make the game better. Focus tests, tutorials and new users. I know there has been some mention of focus tests and new users, and it caused some frustration and concern. Firstly, I want to say that while focus tests are great things, they are only one tool in the whole analytics suite which FreeJam uses to help us decide what to do to improve Robocraft. Focus tests, data analytics, forum feedback, social feedback, and simply playing the game ourselves are all used to determine our next steps. The recent focus test highlighted some issues, which are no-brainers really, but often as a developer you can get blinkered into what you're doing next and find it hard to take a step back and see how the new user sees it, which is why focus tests can be good sometimes. Basically, building viable combat robots is hard to learn. Driving robots whilst aiming your weapon in intense battle arena combat is quite daunting for a new user and quite difficult. Speaking is quite difficult for me sometimes. Learning the progression system, especially when it's in the middle of a major transition, is also hard. Now, I can understand that building a viable combat robot is hard to learn, but there are so many people on YouTube that do videos on building robots, do videos on robots, you know, do videos on Robocraft. There's so many out there. I can't remember the guy's name, but there's people out there that do actual tech. You know, they actually teach you how the different components actually react to each other in the game and how each one can be best maximised and things like that. So a little bit of new player tutorial might help as well on this, but which is actually what they talk about next. So making a tutorial and implementing a solid, simple new user flow that introduces new players to the game in a nice, controlled and friendly way is a no-brainer. We are working on this right now, and this is very high on our priority list. Post Phase 2 completion, this will be our top priority, along with improving the user experience and flow of the game in general, so Robocraft becomes a better experience all round that is cleaner and makes more sense. So next week we're getting the end of Phase 2, and then I'm guessing Phase 3 is going to be the complete flattening of everything and hopefully the last little bits of polishing and things like that. So it could be good if the tutorials are good. Back-end changes and social changes. Over the last 6 months, Robocraft has been transitioning all its back-end technology from some middleware we used to use to a proprietary system fully owned by FreeJam. I can speak, I promise. We suffered a lot of instability from the old system, and since it was someone else's tech and service, we couldn't always fix issues quickly. This transition has involved slowly migrating your data from the old service and databases over to our new FreeJam stuff. This has taken a long time and has involved many of our devs. Basically, a whole bunch of FreeJam coders tied up doing boring stuff instead of new game modes, new content and improving features. I'm pleased to say this work is almost complete, and very soon these guys will be assigned to much cooler stuff like fixing chat, platoons, clans and producing a much better social offering within Robocraft. Cool. They're going to fix the chat. They're going to fix the platoon, so you don't have to you have to be on bloody TeamSpeak or something like that and go 3, 2, 1, press the button, because otherwise platoons buggers up. And clans, are they actually going to implement clans? Because that blooming button has been there for so long, greyed out, not doing anything. I'm surprised anybody remembers he's there. So anyway, finally, ask me anything. Finally, I really want to thank you for sticking with us through all the crazy stuff we seem to be doing. I hope this post is a small step in clarifying why we've done what we've done and what's coming up in the near future. Thank you for keeping the faith and sticking with us. I think the future is bright for Robocraft, and I really look forward to being able to complete all these transitions and finally getting on with making the game better by launching more cool new stuff for you more regularly. If you have any questions about any topic in this post or any changes coming to Robocraft, I'll be holding an Ask Me Anything thread via the Robocraft subreddit tomorrow, Thursday the 31st of March from 3 PM UTC to 5 PM UTC. A handy countdown can also be found in the description below, guys. Please feel free to ask any questions during the AMA and I'll do my best to answer them while the PR guy isn't looking. Thank you, Mark Simmons, Game Director and CEO of FreeJam. So guys, that is what is coming up. And next week we have what looks to be the completion of Phase 2. So cool. I'm looking forward to it. Really? Like they need to do something with it. It's a bit higgledy-piggledy all over the place at the moment. I was playing a 2000k bomber, the one in the video, and I was being put into freaking Battle Class 8 and I'm like, really? Like, that guy's got one leg and it's more CPU than my whole bot. It's a bit higgledy-piggledy, as I've already said. But anyway guys, if you've liked this video today, if you can click the like for us. If you've enjoyed the gameplay in the background, if you can click the like as well. I know you can't do it twice, but you know, just click it anyway. If you've got any comments, suggestions, messages or questions, if you want to drop them down below. I always have fun reading your comments and arguments and things like that you put on these videos when Robocraft is announcing changes. But until the patch notes video comes out, guys, see you later.